Food sovereignty is a concept and movement that advocates for the rights of communities to control their own food systems, including production, distribution, and consumption, in ways that are socially just, ecologically sustainable, and culturally appropriate. It emphasizes the importance of local food systems, agroecology, and community empowerment in ensuring food security and sovereignty. Here's how food sovereignty empowers communities to control their food systems. Local food production. Food sovereignty promotes local food production by encouraging communities to grow and produce their own food, rather than relying on imported or industrialized food systems. It supports small-scale farmers, peasants, and indigenous communities in practicing sustainable agriculture, agroecology, and traditional farming methods that are adapted to local environments and cultures. Agroecology and sustainable farming practices. Food sovereignty emphasizes the principles of agroecology, which integrate ecological principles with traditional knowledge and farming practices to promote biodiversity, soil fertility, water conservation, and resilience to climate change. Agroecological farming methods such as crop rotation, intercropping, composting, and biological pest control help communities produce healthy, nutritious food while preserving natural resources and ecosystem services. Food justice and equity. Food sovereignty advocates for food justice and equity by challenging systems of inequality, exploitation, and discrimination within the food system. It addresses issues such as land grabbing, corporate control of seeds and genetic resources, unfair trade practices, and labor exploitation in agriculture, seeking to ensure that all people have access to healthy, culturally appropriate food produced in ecologically sustainable and socially just ways. Food democracy and participatory governance. Food sovereignty promotes food democracy and participatory governance by involving communities in decision-making processes related to food production, distribution, and policy. It advocates for decentralized food systems that prioritize local control, community ownership, and democratic decision-making, empowering communities to shape their own food policies, regulations, and practices. Cultural preservation and food sovereignty. Food sovereignty recognizes the cultural importance of food and agriculture in shaping identity, heritage, and traditions. It supports indigenous food sovereignty movements and traditional food systems that are based on ancestral knowledge, cultural practices, and community values, preserving biodiversity, culinary diversity, and cultural heritage for future generations. Food security and resilience. Food sovereignty contributes to food security and resilience by diversifying food sources, strengthening local food economies, and reducing dependency on external food imports. It helps communities build resilience to environmental shocks, economic crises, and food emergencies by promoting diversified farming systems, local food markets, and community-based food distribution networks. Solidarity and food sovereignty networks. Food sovereignty fosters solidarity and collaboration among communities, social movements, and organizations working towards common goals of food sovereignty, social justice, and ecological sustainability. It encourages the formation of grassroots networks, alliances, and movements that support food sovereignty initiatives, share knowledge and resources, and advocate for transformative change in the food system. Overall, food sovereignty empowers communities to control their food systems by promoting local food production, agroecology, food justice, participatory governance, cultural preservation, food security, and solidarity. By reclaiming control over their food systems, communities can build resilient, equitable, and sustainable food systems that nourish people, protect the environment, and uphold social justice principles.